Okay. Guys. Hello. Oh boy. Explain the build. Yeah. We can take a look at it. All right. So, I still haven't slept much. Not to make excuses here. But music is loud. Hello, hello. Music. Hello, 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 hello. Now better? Thanks. Yeah, apologies. This song is particularly... If you don't want the music, by the way, I'm streaming on YouTube without music. Poor joy. So if you don't hate the music straight up, like YouTube has no music at all, and it's the same stream. Was just too loud? Okay, okay. Okay, so we have the Abomination thingy coming. Well, this is gonna do quite a bit of damage, basically. I guess we first start talking about Abomination as a skill, right? Abomination has been reworked. I must say, the first thing I'm gonna say is that Abomination can be played pretty much. We've been doing the math of it, and you can play it pretty much with any of the abilities. You can go with the bow thingy. You can go with the stomp and double claw. Like, there's actually, different ways to play it, and they're all good. Actually, they're all good, right? But it seems like the scaling basically this thing, right, scales really good with intelligence. And not only that, because you don't have to do as much shenanigans as you have to do with stomp in order for the minions. It's a bit more point savvy. Another good thing about the Heartseeker version is that with running a single plague idol, you're gonna be able to basically full clear maps and stuff, right? So basically how this works is that you have this ability that is like a recurve thingy, right? It has a pretty long cooldown by default. It's like 4 seconds, and then you can make it 3 seconds, right? So the ideally what you want to do is you want to get as many recurves, right? As long as you as long as your cooldown, right? So if it's gonna do like 12 recurves and that takes 2 seconds, ideally you want a 2-second cooldown. So the moment the recurve finishes, it instantly gets reapplied, right? Or it gets refreshed, rather. So, and we went a bit overboard with cooldown because we don't really know. I mean, we basically based the recurve. We tested with Heartseeker, basically. And, you know, we tried to get like the same recurve chance with like doing a bit of math and stuff. And the duration should be like, yeah, like 2 to 3 seconds, depending on the RNG and things like that. And the, you know, density is going to be obviously less because it's going to finish. But basically what you need to understand is that you're always going to have this thing going, right? I've been asking around a bit, and it doesn't stack, right, apparently. But it can always be applied, right? If it's stacked, then it would be not giga broken, it would be infinite Tesla broken, you know? Okay, so how does the build work? Okay, so you build enough cooldown. Obviously, you're also grabbing the damage, all the damage, right? All the damage as always. You're gonna grab the damage per type absorbed, and we're gonna absorb 4 types of minions, right? We got confirmation yesterday from Mike. I showed it on stream. Let's see if I find the screenshot, so I'll show it again. I think I sent it to Zekar, actually. Where is Zekar? Okay, there it is. I find it. Okay, so we have confirmation that you're able to change your abilities, right? What that means is that you're able to like put certain skills on your bar, do the summoning, and then change. As long as you don't respec anything, you can basically snapshot the summoning process, right? So how it's gonna work is explained in the guide, right? You're gonna summon 1 skeletal mage, 1 wraith, and 1 bone golem, and your skeleton, all your skeleton archers, right? So you're gonna do 1, 1, 1, and as many skeleton archers as you have. So the idea is that you can absorb up to 20 minutes. You can absorb up to 20 minions per the base damage, right? You know, Abomination absorbs up to 20 damage thingy, right? But this node is not capped, right? You can absorb more skeletons, right? So what we've done is we have maxed out on skeleton the resummon chance, and we have also maxed out the resummon chance on the passive. So we have 80% chance to resummon. So basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna absorb these minions, and you're gonna have like, whatever, 10 skeleton archers. Yeah? But then, every time a skeleton archer dies, it has an 80% chance to cast another archer, and then that archer has another 80% chance. So potentially, you're only gonna get from Abomination itself, right? From the passive tree itself, you know, the 20%, this damage on the alt text, you can only get 20 minions, but you can get more with this, the recurve chance. So we have done a bit of math, right? And you should be able to get 17 recurves or something like that. With average RNG, you could get more, 17 recurves. And depending on how fast they go, depending on the animation, that should take between 2 seconds and 3 seconds, maybe a bit more, depending if the projectile is really slow. The only thing we can get off at the moment is the last Epoch trailer, right? So if we go to the last Epoch trailer, they showed Abomination. Let's see where they show it. If anyone has the timestamp, let me know. Might be earlier. They showed the lining thing going. Maybe it's earlier? I remember I watched it on the trailer, I can't remember. If someone finds the timestamp, I'll show it on stream. I don't want to waste too much time. But basically, you're gonna get 25 damage per type absorbed. That's 100 damage, of course, right? And then you're gonna get another 60 with this, right? Yeah, you can only absorb up to 20, but you don't have 20 cheese, right? You're not even gonna get to 20, even if you have very lucky RNG in theory. Because we're not building for extra skeletons on like or chest piece and things like that. But you should be able to cap it. I mean, you might be able to do it a couple times if you get unlucky RNG, but you should be able to get to 20 without having 20, right? Timestamped? Thank you. The point is, like, we're not gonna have 20 skeletons, but we're still gonna get the 20 bonus, right? So that's the attack, right? Yeah. That's the attack. So again, this one is not bouncing as much as the one we're gonna have. With Sinatia Shield, you can get 100% resummon. Yeah, but we don't know if the resummon is gonna fuck up the snapshot. So there's a lot of question marks. For example, we don't know if we can apply Infernal Shade with infinite duration and then just dispel. We don't know these things, so it could be potentially more broken for sure. But the things that we know, right? So again, he's gonna be doing this spell thingy, right? He's gonna go in. He's gonna cast like this. It's like Heartseeker, right? But again, it's gonna have a lot of bounces, yeah? So then, like I said, you get this 60% damage. Then you get this 100% damage. Then you get this 32% damage. Then you get this 48% damage. Then you get this 32% damage. And you build the cooldown enough so the uptime is always up, yeah? Ideally. But you say, okay, that's quite a lot of damage, but how much more damage can you get? Well, obviously, we also get the damage per minion, right? 5% per 20 minions, right? So that's another, 5 times 20. Well, you do the math, right? That's another big multiplier there. Then we're also gonna get another 40 multiplier here. Then we're gonna get another 60% multiplier here. Then we're also gonna get another 75% multiplier here. Then we're gonna get we have around 100 in, so that's 100 penetration that the golem is gonna benefit for. And then we're also gonna have another 50% multiplier here, right? On top of the minion power multiplier, which is 60%, right? So you're adding up the multipliers, yeah? We're adding up the multipliers, yeah? I said, Lizard, but is there any multipliers left? Well, I present to you endurance stacking. You're gonna notice that my character. You're gonna notice that my character has 100% block chance with 0 block chance. I have no block chance on my gear. So we're scaling endurance, and we're getting 100% block. And the endurance is giving us 1% more damage that we're gonna get 20% off. So that's another, if you have 200 endurance, that's another, again, 20% of 200, you're gonna get another 40, yeah? Damage multiplier on top of capping your block, blah, 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 blah. And because we have the intelligence, we're gonna get another 30 pen or whatever the fuck we get, 40, whatever pen is, the 20%, right? And then we're also gonna get another, and the flat damage from the thing, right? We get a shit ton, of course, of spell like passive points, and we're gonna give him a shit ton of crit multiplier, right? And well, he should do a shit ton of damage, basically. So in theory, and this is very like Pepega math that, like we need to see exactly how things work and if we can min-max things. But it could potentially do as much as, again, the Time Rod build was doing with a single skill use, right? So every time he does the arrow, it could be like, you could kill a dummy, basically, on every time he does the arrow. Again, we will see, you know, we will see when the patch happens. Like, the math seems to be mathing, but there might be things that we don't know because we're not testing, you know, we didn't have access to the game, obviously. And obviously, if you really wanted, you could go full damage, right? You could just give up on all this like block stuff and give up on the armor and the resistances and the fucking on aspirational. This gets quite crazy, right? You have like 4k block effect, you know, you have a pretty decent armor and you buffed yourself 7k health, you know, and you know, the damage just goes crazy, right? Yeah. So there's some questions to actually determine how much DPS he would do. Like, we know each cast of the ability is gonna be a lot of millions, like 400 or so, maybe more with better gear. But the question is, how long is he gonna be able to do it? Because ideally what you wanna do, and we will adjust the planner accordingly, by the way. Because basically, let's just say this is the time, right? Time passed. This is time. And this is and then you have cooldown, right? You have, like, let's just say your ability by default is 4-second cooldown, right? 4 seconds, yeah. But you subtract 1 second from the passive tree, yeah. And then you can get enough cooldown reduction on idols, on helmet, on things, which it might not be the easiest thing to do on the first day. Ideally, you want to get this cooldown as reduced. Well, that one's default, so I'll leave it as thing. But you can reduce the cooldown with gear and idols. And ideally, you want to reduce it as exactly the the how long the recurves take time to happen. So ideally, you want this ability to go off cooldown when the last recurve, on average, you know, you kind of want to kind of lowball it so you don't have downtime. So basically, the moment this recurve finishes on bossing and stuff, the next recurve goes on, and then, you know, and so on. So the damage is always up, right? Now, we know that the entire duration of the recurves is going to be X damage. The question is going to be, depending on how fast this damage gets applied, the DPS is going to go up because we're going to be able to build cooldown around it. Now, if we release the guide, right, and we test this, and in order to do the 17 recurves or the 14 recurves or whatever recurves that happened, instead of it taking it like 2 seconds like we're expecting, or 3 seconds, it takes like 4, then there's not going to be any need to build any cooldown. But we don't really know this, and in the video, it looks pretty fucking fast, right? So, additionally, because you have so many hits, you can actually get away with murder to get extra clear with something that was already being used last patch, which is the Plague Idol, right? With a single Plague Idol, you know, you're hitting fucking so many times per ability. You should be able to basically, every time the ability goes off, a plague should go off and it should spread, right? And you gotta keep in mind that all the damage multipliers from this guy, from the skill itself, they're generic, right? There's like more damage. It's not hit damage or anything. Plague spreads, yeah, plague spreads, and it has, it does, I think if I recall correctly, it's 150 base damage. So, I mean, multiplied by a lot, right? Oh, never mind, it's 150, so it's actually pretty good during 3 seconds. So yeah, very good. It's 50 per second, pretty much. With the 3 second cooldown, right? Where's the Flay Leech guide? I'm still cooking that one. I mean, I've been doing the math. It looks kind of, I mean, it's gonna be okay, but I mean, when you have things like this, I need you guys to understand. For Flay to do the damage this guy is doing on a single ability, you would have to Flay approximately. We can do the math, actually. Oops. I'm being generous, I think. I don't know exactly how Flech top end will be, so I'm gonna be generous. 40 times. So yeah. And you're not gonna be blocked, capped, you know, blah blah blah, right? And it's a zero, like the only thing you have to do in this build once you summon the guy, the only thing you have to do is you have to press bone cores every 4 seconds. On top of the minion. Because that's another thing, because from the video, I didn't saw, but this fucking arrow thingy, it's physical. I don't know why, it looked necrotic in the video, but it does physical damage. So it actually, this physical damage actually works. And the physical penetration from the Tyrant Skull works, right? Shout out to Misha and Sekar, who did a lot of the base research. And then this morning I spent a lot of hours talking with this took a lot of time, guys. Like that's why I didn't stream. Like basically I woke up at 7 in the morning and I just finished it, right? Like an hour ago when I published it. So this took a lot of time, a lot of thinking, a lot of stuff to get exactly, you know, 100 block. Well, yeah, it took a lot, right? Ideally, you want to be using, it's way better to use, even on the starting gear, it's explained in the guide, you're better off using Tundra with a single LP or 2 LP. Because it's just super efficient for armor and for stats, it's really good. But the only reason I didn't include it in the guide is because I suspect this guide is going to be extremely powerful, and I refuse to get my invoiced absolutely exploded by noobs asking me, why am I going out of mana, this build is bad. So I am just protecting my mental health. So if I see someone saying anything about why doesn't he have the helmet in endgame planner, fuck you, okay? You are going to run out of mana. Lizard loves YouTube and Reddit chatters. I have a very low chat resistance when it comes. My chat is fine. I think like my chat is always like Giga chat, no? But bro, like, dude, go. Okay, Rody, go into the Ellie Discord and just type max roll. Because if it was based on the official Ellie Discord general chat, I should be instantly fired. And they should get the job, you know? But hey, you know, triple stacking attribute Flech is for sure gonna out DPS this for sure, yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I think Flech, the more I think about it, the more it's kind of baity, but we'll see. And I think apparently they have nerfed it more. So I gotta see the actual numbers, because I think they nerfed the more damage node. Did they ever say if the reflect chest actually does reflect damage? Yes. By the way, I'm thinking of making the reflect build. I was doing a bit of research today on the game, because reflect is quite obscure. For those who don't know, reflect doesn't have a damage type. And the only thing that can mitigate reflect is modifiers of less damage taken on the monolith, you know? Like high health enemies take less damage. But it doesn't get affected by area, armor, resistances, area DR. It doesn't get affected by anything, so it's basically true damage, pretty much, right? it doesn't get affected by anything. It can't be mitigated basically at all. What about frailty on you? I assume that's a debuff on you, so I would assume that works, but there's not that much frailty in the I mean on Abaroth it would work, I guess. So in theory with the chest, and we're cooking a build with like Spriggan shield. It's a very old build, like Rody has played it, for example, he's in the chat. So you spam Thorn Shield, blah blah blah, you know, and you should be able to get, I mean that build was already pretty good. And I don't know, we'll see. I'm a bit skeptical, but you have perma-cleanse, yeah, you have perma-cleanse with the Terra's Blessing on that build. So in that build, in particular, it wouldn't be a problem, yeah. But yeah, the thing is, like, if it's 1 million DPS, it will actually be 1 million DPS, you know? Because if you're 1 million DPS on that build and it hits half a second, it means you're gonna see 500,000 ticks on Uber Abaroth, right? Whether it's like if you have a build that is doing 10 million DPS, you know, you're losing like 90% of that just to area DR. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if Recorp doesn't work the way we think on this, you wouldn't go Recorp and you would go Stomp instead. But the gearing is a bit more, it will be way worse gearing. But it would be a lot of damage still, like a lot of damage. But it wouldn't be as good as Plague with Plague Idols, things like that. No need for snapshotting. I mean, you can't snapshot, right? Even if you want to. But you can do stuff. I mean, you can do snapshotty things. It's not snapshot per se. But I mean, some stuff it's still snapshotable, like they already said, right? Like Julra rings, things like that. So there is gonna be some snapshot, yes, but not most of the gear snapshot on things that don't have a duration should be gone, and I say should, right? 1 second, doing something. One second. Work. 'Is this Abo build look like it will be a ton of fun? Yeah, and again, there's many we like in terms of, again, there's a lot of questions, you know, how is the recorp gonna do, how long is it gonna take? Worst case scenario, instead of playing this, which I might add a variant, I just need to min-max it before I add it. We might just have a variant where we go stomp instead, right? You go this instead of this, basically. And the double strike thing, and you consume warriors instead of consuming archers. So basically, you would change this point to this point to this point, and you would change these points to these points. Oh, you guys can see. Sorry. So basically, I'm saying if the recurve doesn't work how we think it works, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this point and you're gonna grab this point. So you're gonna remove archers instead. You're gonna get full warriors. And then you're gonna go into Abomination, and you're gonna put one port into. You're gonna get a double strike for the double strike damage, right? You can also max this. You're gonna take these points off. You're gonna go less cooldown because you're gonna have 2 abilities instead of 1, and you're gonna try to get the points here and max this. And we'll see if we do 2 golems. Or more, because if you do, I think probably the play is to do 2 golems only, and then the rest into warriors. Because if you do more than 2 golems, you can't do skeletons at all, right? Do we save this? Well, it's there's a guide and everything, so. So yeah, this build is gonna be pretty retarded, I think. Should do a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage multipliers. It looks okay to league start. I mean, the problem with league starting this is like, I mean, you just getting to Abomination, you need, you know, fucking 50 points on Bear versus Ammo. Who wins? And you can start playing Bear way earlier, but in theory this should be much more damage if it works the way. I think the Earthquake is for sure gonna work. It's like 100%. There's no question marks, and this build has question marks, right? Yeah, I would probably just level with a Warlock. Yeah. Yeah, if you go to build guides and you type here season 3. This one took very long, so I got stuck a bit today. But yeah, all the season 3 guides are updated basically, all of them. No Ballista. Ballista should be updated tomorrow because it's Bina, and Bina is on vacation. Well, not vacation. He's like busy with his family. He has personal stuff, so he's coming back tomorrow. You have to quote it. Still shows, no? Oh, there you go. Season 3. Thank you. So we have a lot already. Some of these are just old, right? So nothing really changed. Like this build I played last patch. This one was playable last patch. It's just better. It got popular. All of these builds are like basically old builds. This one is new, but it's old build, but it has upheaval. This is old, but it has earthquake. Like the only new builds, like new, straight up new, I think at the moment are what? Abomination is new. I guess you could consider the minions new, but it's just literally I had these characters last patch. I just added a skill, and yeah, all of this was already old. Oka has a couple new ones. Shield, yeah, but it's not a new build from this patch, right? Shield Throw was already playable last patch. Same with Multi Strike. Like I played this. I played this myself. And this is an old patch, right? New to Maxroll? Yeah, I'm new to Maxroll. We have some stuff that, and we're also gonna archive some builds on the tier list and stuff. Like probably, I mean these ones are probably dying. This one's probably going up. But again, it takes time. The dive bomb is probably dying until we find what we do. Wait, 100% recurve per archer? That is dumb. If it works how I think it works, it should be dumb. But again, who the fuck knows if there's like small, you know. Keep in mind, as far as we know, again, you could literally log in, spec into this shit, and your arrow goes, it collides with terrain, and it's not working, literally. Like it could literally be that the projectile goes underground and it's bugged, you know. So again, all of these builds that are like literally brand new, take with a grain of salt. Not because the math is not good, but because like interactions. I mean, I cannot tell you this works, right? In terms of, or maybe this fucking arrow. Again, I was talking about how like we've seen a bit of the gameplay. Of how the arrow looks, right? I'm gonna slow it down so you guys can see. We can take a look at it, right? So there's your Abomination, right? I mean, who the fuck knows what this person has spec'd, right? We don't know how many archers he consumed or what. He has vanguards here. Is a hero motherfucker got hit hard? No, you can still play with daggers and clear. It'll be fine. We'll take a look at the Comfy K3 video. He made a video today in Korean, and I spent 1 hour before doing Abomination. I spent 1 hour translating Korean from the fucking Google Translator. This looks like MTX Marrow Shards. Okay, so this is the attack, right? Looks like. Or it could be the enemy's projectile. I mean, they're talking about the attack, and I think it's happening. So that's all we can go for. Does it hit multiple enemies in one attack? In theory, it works like Heartseeker. So if they're in the trajectory, it will pick one, right? And then it will jump to, when the enemy dies, it will jump to a different enemy. If it works like Heartseeker, which we don't know, right? I would assume they're just reusing the code, right? But I mean, there it goes, there it goes, there we go. He does the auto attack. These guys are attacking. So again, that's the attack. This thing, or is it the enemy? Because it might be the enemy. Like we had a big discussion. I kind of think it's the enemy. But they're showing the note, and the question is it the ability with some sort of? And that's what I thought it was, necrotic, right? Or is it just these guys? There's a lot of very semi projectiles. Some of it seems to be from the enemy, and then you have this one that comes here, and we think this is the one. But the red arrow, isn't it? It's hard as fuck to see. Black. Yeah, there it is. So it looks exactly like Heartseeker. But again, that was like what, like 3 recurves. So, but who knows what this, you know? 26 hours? No, it's a joke. Like the patch, like being solved in 26. It's a joke. Like because the patch got released like 26 hours ago, before we find. I mean, if this works, if this works the way we think it works, I mean, you're gonna be able to do Bravos in just like Falconer, you know, 10 hours, whatever, in softcore. But many questions. And again, hopefully if Adep is watching this, they can confirm if it works the way I think it works, because there's the only way to get confirmation, basically. But regardless, if the Heartseeker is not as good, then we go melee, right? And we go stomp. We spec, again, instead of specing this, you spec this. And you would have to lose some points. You would lose 2 points here, 2 points here, 4 points there, 1 point there. You would grab this. And if you have enough points, you would grab this. Hydra bow. I don't know what to think about the Hydra bow. I was looking at it, and to me it looks like it's a stat stick, honestly. It works the same? Yeah, if it works like Heartseeker. Because how much recurve chance we get on Heartseeker, you know? Like... how much recurve chance? We don't get that much, right? We get on the skill tree, we get per dex, right? 0.5 per dex, not even. You have 100 dex. No, less actually. Well, 100 dex, let's just say. So you get, you know, 50 recurve. And then this is 66. And this is the minimum, right? So it's always there. And then it has this recurve, and then you can get recurve on idols if you really want to, right? 20%, and you can get recurve on craft. So the Abomination, in theory, right? That's how their node reads. It might be a tooltip, but it literally says 100% recurve chance per absorbed archer. So if you absorbed, again, 17 archers, you know, or 20, because that's why we're going for the Saki, right? I mean, well, that's 2,000 recurve chance, no? So... no. How it works, it's explained in the guide, guys. You basically... you summon one of each minion and all your skeletal archers. But then you observe the skeleton, you observe the raid, you observe the golem, and then the skeletal archers will start dying and they will resummon each other with this and with this, right? So, you know, you're gonna have, how many archers we're gonna have? You know, you're gonna have like the default 3, right? Plus 1, 2, 3, right? So you have 6 there. And you also have the extra 2 of the passive. So you have 8, right? And you have 80% chance for them to like reappear. So ideally, you know, these 8 turn into like 20 with the 80% chance to resummon. And if you don't get lucky, you do it again. If you want to super min-max the maximum damage, you know. That's why I give a heads up here, where like the Abomination summoning process can be tedious. Because while you're absorbing them, they're gonna die and they're gonna resummon and so on, right? And so ideally, you would resummon. You would get all of them, right? Yeah, 9 archers. Yeah, sorry. With the you have the mastery bonus. I forgot. Sorry. The Abomination lasts a whole PlayStation. Yeah, I mean as long as you don't like change, you don't leave the monolith and stuff. He shouldn't be. I mean, it used to never resummon, right? I don't know what they're gonna do. In theory, now he's checking the gear all times, and we've been told that taking minions from your bar doesn't change anything. So in theory, should be good. Resummon takes 3 seconds. If you don't have no minions to observe, he will be resummoned. Yes, exactly. That's why it can be a very RNG. Yes, but there is tricks. I mean, I guess I can explain. But there is tricks you can do. Basically, you can summon your minions far away, right? You can have skeletons, right? You summon your skeletons. I'll show you. It's fine. It's a bit tedious, but I'll show you. So you separate the skeletons from the minions. You start up sucking the minions, and then you press your A key while summoning. So the enemies go in, you know, they go into it. I don't have it fully spec'd, so it might take a few tries. Because I don't have the points and stuff. But basically, the idea is that you would have your raid. Where's the? You have a raid. You have a golem. Where the fuck is the golem? You have the regular skeletons, right? And then you would have a mage, right? But then what you can do is you can do skeletons here, right? And then you want to look a place where the AI can be tricked. The monolith is a good place for that. I'll explain. And obviously you could set them in aggressive or whatever, right? So you can do this, right? And then you can do this. So that way, the minions are separated, yeah? Ideally, you want to do it the opposite way. You want your skeletons here, right? And then you want your other stuff far away, right? So you're gonna do all your skeletons here, like I said. You're gonna do your golem there. Or not. That works, actually. And then we do our skeletal mage. We'll see also with the auras how they behave. You find the spot, right? And then you do your skeletal thingy. Yes. And now that you have everything, we'll summon a raid, of course. We need the raid. And then you would start, right? I don't have the resummon chance now. But that will be the plan, right? I don't have it spec'd. I guess I'll spec it. Just we don't have the 80%, so it's a bit of a weird thing to. It's not working now, so. But you get the idea, right? You can also this current one can consume itself, which we're not gonna do, right? And now we would do it. Again, it's only 40% chance, so... Do you see the loop? It's starting there, right? And with 80% chance... you know, and obviously, again, if you want to macro this to do it perfectly, blah, 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 right? So that would basically be the play, right? You do your skeletons. Which you should have one more than we have right now, right? You should only have you should not have warriors, but whatever. You should not have rogues, whatever. You know, it's different tree. We'll spec that, but I do have the points. Okay, I have the points, perfect. And you would have the just one golem is fine, because you don't want to take space from the. And you would actually spec you wouldn't spec the golem at all, right? You wouldn't spec golem at all, right? You see he broke. So now we have the skeletons, yeah, and we only want archers. And then we only want one mage. Okay, so you should have 9, like I said, yeah. And then you do... I'm waiting for someone who wants to see this. I'm not gonna do it 20 times. And then you do the golem. Yes. Then you do the mage. And then you do the raid, yeah. And now you start summoning. The staircase was a bit fucky, right? But the idea is that you will be able to consume all of it with the 80% resummon instead of the 40%. And that's basically it, right? And after that, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep your Abomination here. And you're gonna change to Bonkers, Transplant, Ore of Decay, and Dreadshade. And you start playing the build. Did Necro leveling change at all? How did you level Necro? Yeah, I would just level as Warlock, and obviously he's not gonna decay and stuff, right, anymore. I mean, the low life is for sustain. If you don't go low life, you don't have sustain. So it just solves that. And now you have a lot of support, because this will gonna give you low life, etc. You don't understand how health damage dealt to mana works? It's like a ratio of 1 to 6. So for each 6 health that you would have taken, you lose 1 mana. That's it. 1 to 5? Yeah, 1 to 5. And then, you know, there's a lot of questions to be resolved when it comes to this build. Can you have multiple of these things out at the same time? I don't see why not. It doesn't say anything on the tooltip that you shouldn't, right? Can multiple hit the same target? Maybe. Who knows? It doesn't say it doesn't, right? Heartseeker can hit multiple, like you can have multiple Heartseekers on the same target. And so if it works like that, you should be able to get multiple, but what does percentage give me? It's simple actually. Okay, let's just say you have, my music stopped 1 second. Let's just say you have 100 health, yeah? You have 100 health and you have 100 mana. And you have 50% damage taken, right? To mana before health. And you get hit by 100, right? You get hit by 100. You get crit by 100. Obviously, this is going to go through mitigations. Let's just say you get hit by 100, yeah? So you're going to lose 50, right? And the other 50, right? This is going to get split. This 50 and the regular 50. So you're going to go down to 50 HP from this hit. And then this 50 is going to go into a 1-to-5 ratio, right? So if you were taking 5 damage, right? Sorry, 50 damage, and you are doing a 5-to-1 ratio, you're going to divide it by 5, right? So it means that you're going to go to 90 mana, right? Even though you should have gone to 50, right? Because it was 50 and 50. But this one only took 10. So if you are able to, you know, let's just say, let's do it with different numbers, right? You have 100 HP, and instead of 100, let's just say you have 100 conversion, right? Or let's just do 90. You can do 100, by the way. But if you go empty, then all your damage will go directly to your health, like if you didn't have any. So let's just say you have 90. Okay, so now you have 90% conversion. Okay, so now you're gonna get hit by 100, yeah? But you're only gonna take 10 HP, right? So now you're 90 health after this hit, yeah? And the other 90%, the other 90 damage, is gonna be divided, once again, right? By 5, right? Which is 18. So you're gonna go to 72 mana. 18 mana? The opposite, sorry. 82 mana. So you would have only lost this much and this much. Now, this gets very dangerous when the numbers are bigger if you are not able to recoup your mana, right? But eventually, if you build a character that is a big mana tank, you can get extremely tanky. I'll show you an example. For example, right? So one affix with 40% gives me 40% DR? Yes, pretty much. As long as you have mana, yes. That's why you see in a lot of max roll guides where you speak of the mountain and things like that. As long as you can sustain the mana, it's good. For example, if we go to Glacier, which is probably the best build with this, right? Or focus builds, right? On focus builds, you also use this technology because you're always making mana. For example, on Glacier, right? A seed, yeah, I mean seed, sorry. Yeah. So if we go to, for example, this, it's 2k corruption, right? And this character has 28% damage taken goes to mana, with 20% of damage taken goes to mana. And I don't have anything here, but I could have more, right? And maybe I have more on the passives. I don't actually, but I could have more. So this character has how much? 20 plus 28, so almost 50%, yeah? Almost 50%. And on top of that, on Flame Ward, you get another 45%, right? So I'm basically almost 100%, yeah? So what's gonna happen if I go, for example, to a Shade of Orobis here? Is Nazi of the Summon still true? Yeah, confirmed by the devs, yes. So if I do this, right, with the conversion I have, yeah? And whatever ability he does at 200 corruption, I just Flame Ward. Let's see if he does like a big ability. Oh, okay, my Flame Ward literally ran off, but this is a good example. I did it too fast, my bad.
You understand nothing,
We generate ward always, right? You see that I face tank that, right? But my mana almost went empty. And when he's hitting for like whatever thousands of damage, right? And that's because of the mana tank stuff. And on a character like Glacier, basically you generate a lot of mana with Glacier itself, which allows you to basically I mean, do you know, be pretty tanky even at these corruptions. And you see I'm generating my mana back, you know. Obviously that's a bit too much, but you know, it wasn't doing that much damage. No, I mean, they fixed gear snapshotting, but there is basically, this is what's staying, especially for Necro. So with the new Summon Abomination functionality, what happens if you summon the Golem with a minion, like the Abomination with a minion, and then you take that minion off your bar? Nothing happens, right? As long as you don't mess with the skill trees and stuff, you're Gucci. Oh, I mean, it has to be like this for Abomination. Right? Is there any good meteor build? I mean, it's okay. Yeah, you can't snapshot gear, but basically with Abomination you're gonna be able to summon your minions and then change them, right? That's what we're saying. Jula RF still snapshot? It should, yes. It should. Like the Julra ring snapshotting thingy, the Julra Stardials. It should still snapshot, yes. Which, again, I'm not a big fan of that. So, yeah, basically, honestly, I spent all my morning doing this. It's very time consuming when you don't know exactly. So you know. We'll see how good it is, but the math is mathing, you know. So again, we will see, you know, we will see what is the, if it's better to go melee, if it's better to, what are my thoughts on Flay Lich? My thoughts on Flay Lich are mixed, actually. I have mixed feelings. Because basically, it looks fun, but it looks like it's gonna need a lot, you know. When it comes to actually scaling it. I've seen some people do dots. I've seen some people do... I think crit is probably the best. But it still feels like it's gonna be like a lot of work. Like a lot of work. So... I don't know. What do you guys think about Flay? Like, I mean, I have a planner and everything, but I mean, compared to some of the things, like, again, for example, if you compare Flay to Warpath, like, you're playing a different game, kind of, you know? I mean, we can take a look. 1 second. I'm getting emails and shit. It's very annoying to stream during these times because, you know. But I apologize. I'm getting messages that things need to be updated and stuff. Alright, I'm back. Apologies. Okay, so Flay. I mean, do you guys have Flay planners that maybe we can take a look at? Any Flay gamers? Is Warpath not the strongest pally? It's Warpath. Warpath is gonna be played as Void Knight. And yeah, Warpath should... I'm probably going to start Flay, but I don't do planners. Just YOLO it, Rowdy. Just YOLO it. I mean, for a Flay, I have... What do I have? For Flay... For the Flay, I have... Let me look at my profiles. I mean, I haven't looked too much into it because I've been busy all morning. But... So there's different ideas, right? I think that the one that everyone kind of thought of when they teased that you can dual wield daggers and... Like, everyone has this build, basically, pretty much, no? In a way or another. It's like mana stacking... You get 1.5k mana, you get full crit with traitors, you get a shit ton of plus levels, blah blah blah. You can go the new boots if you want for blah blah blah, right? And then when you go to skills, You can take or not take this depending on how much you want to troll, right? We will see what we do with the multipliers, but the main idea is like you go into this, right? Into the chaos thingy and you skill mana. But I don't know. I'm being told by a lot of people. I haven't really seen this anywhere, but maybe you guys on Reddit or something. Apparently, this has already been nerfed, right? By apparently it's only now 2 points. Max mana, use chaos balls. Yeah, I mean everyone's thinking I mean the skill, the build. This is not the kind of build you think about, right? It's the build that is just. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? Like everyone's gonna have the same planner. So the question is like, how much damage are we really gonna do with this? Because like, all right, sure, chaos bolts. I mean, you have a multi here, okay. You have another multi here, and that's it, pretty much. And then, okay, you're gonna have this multiplier that's gonna apply to these chaos bolts, and you're gonna be able to get this crit multiplier, right? Who's gonna be able to get to have its own tree and its own damage, and maybe you go for the minions with bonkers, and you spec for the minion consumption. Maybe, we'll see. But it still doesn't look like, I mean, unless unless I'm missing something very obvious. And then this morning I was talking with some people on mission stuff, and I was thinking, but what if you completely kind of ignore like the chaos bolt part, and you focus on, obviously this is just me clicking notes without, like this is not ready to be shared. But what if you just go full on the explosion damage, the whatever this is called, the blood eruption. Yeah, and apparently it's nerfed, Ravenclaw. Apparently this node can only go up to 2 now, from what I've heard. Let's Google, I guess, if I find it on Reddit. I didn't have time to look, so I apologize. Badly plot. I can't find it, honestly. 17. Oh, let's see. Where is this? Can someone find it? You're dreaming? No one said that. I mean, yeah, that's why I haven't been able to see it, but apparently on some obscure Discord comment or some shit, or like a dev said that it is nerfed to 2. So if it's nerfed to 2, I mean, it's still a lot of damage. It's like 100% more damage with, 150 with but with the axe, because the axe is gonna give you 48% increase mana. But I don't know, I still don't really... The Chaos Bolts itself... And okay, you're gonna get how many Chaos Bolts? You're gonna get... With 1.5k mana, you're gonna get 15 Chaos Bolts. But it's like, well, if I self-cast Chaos Bolts, and I go for the chest, the helmet thingy, where that... $48, wasn't it 72? What? Which one? What for the... I don't know what I said. I'm completely fried, so... Okay, Giro, Deadly Plot. Flech and all skills triggers, but it deal 5% more spell damage per point for 100% maximum damage. 2 points plus 2. It's 72? No, it's 48, no? Isn't it? It goes to... Is it 48? 1 stack, 3 per 2 seconds. And they stack 8 seconds. Hey, yeah, it might be... It might be a bit more. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, you're gonna get... I mean, the thing is, like, they last 8 seconds, right? The stacks. So, if it can proc 3 seconds... 3 times... I'm tired. 3 times per 2 seconds. You can proc it 9 times, right? So it's like, yeah, it's almost 40, no? 30 something, 36. It's 12 stacks now for X3. Did they buff it? It's 3 times 4. Okay, yeah, you're right. 3 times 4. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it should be 12. It should be 12. Yeah, so it's 48. It's what I said at the beginning. You guys confused me. Like, I said almost 50%, right? Which is 48. Like, it's 48. And then someone said, "Is it 48? Isn't it 72?" And then I completely exploded. Ravencrow is your fault. You can stack every 2 seconds, so you can stack 4 times. Oh, now you can stack every 2 seconds. So they buffed this item, is what you're telling me? You can stack every 2... Oh, okay, never mind. I misread your comment. Yeah, so every 3 seconds, 2 stacks, right? Every 3 seconds, 2 stacks. Yeah, but they only last 8, so not 9. No, every 2 seconds 3 stacks. Wow, guys, it's fucking 48%, okay? Like, fucking hell. Like, I need to eat. I think this planner, it's complete dog shit. But I mean, I can link it, but I wouldn't follow it yet. My question is, do we know for sure we can actually sustain the mana? Yeah, of course. You should be. I mean, you gotta keep in mind that Chaos Bolts doesn't cost mana, right? As long as it's in single target, because you're getting the mana back here, right? Mana against cursed, 2, right? So even if you're hitting, you're just hitting a boss, the 2 mana cost proc is coming back to you. And then if this is costing, like, again, it's gonna cost 4 plus 12, right? So it's gonna cost like fucking 14. How did I get to 72? That's a good question, because you've not only did you fuck with your brain, you fuck with my brain. That's a. But basically, if you have a 17 mana cost, but you can get like what 30% of that every 5 seconds, and you can build cooldown worst case scenario, which is something that I've thought about, right? You should be fine. Like 30% of this is like fucking 400 fucking mana or whatever every, 400 mana every 5 seconds. Are you gonna spend with a 17 mana cost ability? Are you gonna spend 400 mana in like how many times would you have to cast this shit, you know? 400 divided by 14. You have to cast it 28 times. Which that means you attack 6 times per second, right? 5.7. Are you gonna attack 6 times per second? No. You're gonna have attack speed, but you know, you're gonna have like you know, you're gonna have melee attack speed here, you're gonna have a melee attack speed on the boots if you go for the boots, you're gonna have a attack speed on the tree, 48%. If you get, I think you'll attack like 3 times per second if you go really crazy, right? And this weapon is, it's a pretty fast, they're pretty fast actually. You might get close to 4, you know. But if that's the case, then you build a bit less attack speed, just so the mana. That's why, this is one of the reasons why, I mean, even though I think the mana scaling spell has the most potential for damage, probably, and this is a big probably, you can't really play this until you have the mana and the axe. At least not to this extent, right? So what do you do in between? I made a YouTube video about this today. About Lich, because I play a lot of Lich. And I made a video breaking down like the leveling and stuff and the struggles. It's fucking 20 minutes long, so if you're interested, that will be the place to go. As you guys see, my YouTube is absolutely blooming, you know. We have a ratio of 100 views, less than 100 views per hour. I have more people on my stream right now than people have watched that video in the last 4 hours. Fucking hell, man. Hey, it's okay. It's gonna pay off, you know. It's gonna pay off. Man, I'm not. I really need to sleep. I don't know. I'm really sleep deprived. I'm like hallucinating and shit. But I try to sleep and I wake up. You know what I did today? You know what I did today? I woke up because from all the things I was thinking about, I thought about, wait a minute, what about multi-shot? and I went to see affixes, and I went to see multi-shot, and I did this on my phone too, because I was in the bed trying to sleep, so it was really hard to navigate. And increased damage per arrow of multi-shot on body armor, it goes from 30% to 60%. Right? And for those wondering, you can get like 17 arrows, right? So that affix is 1000% increased damage. And I thought, nice! And then I tried to sleep. Yeah, you get obviously, this is just a, I mean, we have the build on max roll, right? Like the multi-shot. And we already do this, right? We already do the thing, but now it's probably worth dropping the chest just to get that much damage. It's like a lot of fucking damage, you know? You go for 500 damage from the chest to 1000. I mean, it's still gonna be shit build, but it, I mean, hey, at least it's a bit you know, we can do that right now actually. What guys, what is better than getting paid to work? Working your side job while you're doing your main job. Holy, you know? We're double dipping. We're getting Twitch currency while we're streaming on YouTube, getting YouTube subs. We are re-uploading the content to YouTube for the long-term views, and I'm working on max roll at the same time. I'm fucking scaling harder than Abomination right now, you know? Just saying. Oh, I have so much fucking work, guys. These are all the guides I've done. This is the guides I have left. Plus the new ones. Not good. Not bueno, guys. Minion builds don't count? Say that to my sleep schedule. Fucking hell, man. Where's multi-shot? This is gonna move. Everything's gonna move quite a bit, huh? Where the fuck is multi-shot? Huh. It's gonna be interesting to see what we do with the tier list and stuff. Then I was also thinking about the thing. What is it called? The thing that the charismatic thingy. You guys know this, like, charismatic thingy, like a primordial. This thing, the true sight glass, but it's so hard. Like you don't get that much crit on this guy, so I think I'm not gonna do it. And I don't think I'm gonna change it here. I'll just go to aspirational, and then we're gonna change this item into an exalted. This is the first time I use this, by the way. It's my first, guys. This is my first primordial usage. What do we even gear here? Fucking crit, and we drop a crit avoidance somewhere. Yeah. Looks like it, no? Okay, primordial multi-shot. Boom. That's actually pretty raw. That's pretty crazy, actually. And then what? We seal like regular dodge, most likely, no? Increased dodge, sorry. Then we do health. I mean, this chest piece, I mean, if you manage to get this, right? And what else? Maybe damage with a bow. What else we have? Maybe there's something better. No, armor shred we don't need. Damage with a bow is not horrible, but we might just go vitality. Let's see. Maybe we lost the attributes. Because that's one of the reasons you go for that thingy. Wait, what? Do I have this? I did something. Guys, I need sleep. Hey, what's up, Feather? Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, I have enough attributes, that's for sure. Dude, I can't do basic math at the moment. 38 plus 16. Nice. I think it's the 69 that is throwing me off. You know, I have like flashbacks. Okay, so where did you get good on attributes? I don't really know what we do here then. I mean, damage with a bow is always good, but bow attack speed, maybe. We can't really sustain it, that's a problem. Mana is not horrible either. Strength isn't horrible either. But we have a lot increased. Vitality is not horrible. We don't do shadows. I mean, you can always go damage with a bow, that's for sure, right? You can always do this. It's super low value for how much value we're getting of this, but let's keep it like this at the moment. And then we need to get rid of a crit avoidance somewhere. You'd go for a crit avoidance here. We gain passives, I guess, maybe. We don't really want to do that, though. I'll change this. Okay, I mean, it's not horrible, actually. It's not horrible. Okay, we'll go create avoidance here. We'll go create avoidance here. We cap create avoidance this way, right? And now we can go Giga HP once again. And we probably go Dex, no? Oh, mana regen is good, actually. So we can spam like absolute degenerates. Or endurance. I'll do endurance. We were getting the endurance from the chess piece, so we need to get it back. Again, this is super aspirational bullshit that's never gonna happen, so, you know. I mean, it can happen, I have things like this, but... Okay, good. Good, I can save my profiles. 1.3. Marksman. Where's the tax? Okay. Gotta link my fucking YouTube and shit. Very annoying. My Twitch. That should be easier. Where's the season? Boom. That's good. I hate the guides without aspirational. I mean, ideally, you want to have... I think on all guides, ideally, you want to have something very basic. Because, I mean, most people who check guides, they need this. That's why they're fucking watching a guide, right? If they knew how to get this, they you know, maybe they wouldn't be like looking for a progression guide. Maybe they would just ask for a planner, you know? Like the guides are there to guide you all the way, right? So it's important that, and it's, I put so much fucking time on things that nobody sees. It's a bit annoying, but oops. Like the progression, you know, exactly putting all the points in the order that you should put them, depending on like like nobody really. 99% of people don't read, you know, but it's fine. It's there, you know. It's good quality. It's there, and who wants to use it uses it, and he doesn't use it doesn't use it. I read. Nice. Okay, so... Okay, what else? What else? One second. Another email. All right, let's see. What else? I've been looking at a lot of YouTube builds, and I don't think I have not seen a YouTube video, like, because I've been awake. So people are not making content fast enough. Like I'm watching my own videos back, bro, because there's no videos. There's a visual bug in the node tachycardia showing 5 out of 1. No, it's not a visual bug. It's the guide is I archived it. If you go to that seal, it should show that's archived. Like if you go into the guide, it shouldn't show. I have to. That's gonna take a lot of time. So if you are managing to go into that seal, it's because you're clicking on the tier list or something. I mean, we could do that now if you guys want. We can take. We could do. I mean, it's a complete dog. It's not good, but we could do it. Shall we do it? Shall we do it? Ah, you guys can't see. Fuck. I apologize. Slip the fright tier listing. I think we're gonna wait. We wanted to do it today, but I kind of need Bina. I kind of need Suk's opinion. I know Bolka is already kind of like doing something like pre-med. How do you even... I forgot the word. Preemptive. What can I say? I'm a bit of a polyglot, you know? I am a bit of a polyglot. Hey, what's up, Dread? Thanks for the raid, man. I appreciate it. For those who don't know, you know, Dread has joined the affiliate team on Maxroll. So if you want to support him, you know, make sure you check him out. He's gonna on the community planners. He's gonna have his own shit there, you know, and stuff. So Frozen Sentinel, all of these guys are actually. Dread is there. Oh, I should have clipped this. Oh sheesh. Okay, what do we do with this, guys? We for sure do Marrow shards, right? It's very funny. Like code-wise, this node used to be this node, and they like use the same art, so they just move it. So basically, what happened is whoever programmed this ability, this node used to be here. It used to be like the one that costs 6 mana, and whoever did this rework, instead of like creating a new node, it just dragged the node. So it's like it has the same idea and shit. Pretty funny. So we have the impossible skill tree. I almost don't want to respec it just because this is unique, you know? This is the best meme with THEORYCRAFT today. Okay, let's take a look, I guess. Frenzy stacking. I mean, the belt is a bit monka, but frenzy stacking, no? What are you doing for damage, though? Swipe. Bear swipe. Frenzy stacking. With aftershocks. Yeah, I mean, maybe you attack fast enough to actually proc them. My music is gone again, sorry. What? I mean... We had like similar builds like this. We archived the previous one, the Aftershock one, the one that Amarathi did because it couldn't attack fast enough. So, I mean, I think we're doing this on Rife, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's already up because Bolka planned this like a long time ago. Well, like since the patch notes. I don't know where he got this of Misha or something. Is he not? Oh, he's not. I thought he was doing. Is it? Ah, maybe he's doing it with multi-strike. No. Let me see if it's multi-strike. I had a. I don't know if I'm forgetting what I talked. Or is it? I'm gonna message him. Hey, you know, guys, we haven't slept. I mean, guys, you know, we're trying, okay? What are they called? This embeds. Oh, good on this one. Let's see. Maybe the gear section he mentions it. Rune of Evolution. Oh, he says he's uploaded it. It's like it's gonna be up in a bit. It's like the cache is fucked or whatever. Let me go back to the Reds thingy. I closed it. I mean, it will work, you know. Build is so giga, it can't load. It is what it is, you know. It is what it is. Well, Dread, I know already what is your favorite item. The fucking helmet. Like the butchers, whatever the fuck. This thing? You love this thing. I like it, but I don't like it to solve mana. I like it for the opposite. I like it for the builds that don't need mana. So they can get away with this, basically. So instead of building around it, what I do is I build anti around it, you know? The mana gain, the health gain is busted. Yeah, I mean, in a lot of the builds that I thought about this, I had already like Giga Leech, so I didn't really see the value when I was doing it, but I could see it if you're playing a build that... This could be, for example, pretty good on multi-shot, actually, but you would have to build without peak. That would actually be really nice on multi-shot, but again... Dude, actually, guys, low-life multi-shot with the current health loss per second. Is it coming back, Dread? I know you like that one. It would actually make sense on this build. So... That's a Dread special right there. The fucking... What is it called? I mean, I use it on my multi-shot, but I don't do the low-life part. What? Night... What is it called? Night what? Voidbringer? I actually have a pretty crazy multi-shot character. You guys want to see my multi-shot character? Like actual real character. No, where is he? This guy. Bro, this guy... I think this was when 1.1, you know, the patch was so bad that I just like, you know what? I'm just gonna play multi-shot, bro. Gear check, guys. I actually have a lot of 4 LPs waiting. It's a bit of a shame that I didn't cry. I have 3 LP this too. But okay, let's start. I have 3 LP bow with tier 7. All of this is SSF, by the way. You know, just, you know, casual 3 LP bow SSF. I have 3 LP Nightbringer, also with like best in slot hits. Of course, the max rolled crit multi fucking blah blah blah. Of course, my tier 6, tier 7, and this is before imprints existed. This is before Weaver's Wheel. This is old school gear, you know. None of that fucking cheating ass imprinting, you know. Like this fucking character was fucking cracked. And this is before Nemesis existed, you know, like almost. It's a very, very old character. And somehow it has this relic at the same time. I'm telling you, these were different times. This is different times. Imagine a character running around with red rings and shit. And then you... this is before by the way, this is before guaranteed slam. So this shit, you know, proper... This is... I didn't confirm the tier 7. You know, it had to hit for all of these items. Oh, man. I think about it, and the adrenaline gets... I woke up, bro. You know? Dude, if this patch I had I had the slamming thingy... Actually, I had some item. I have so many items here that I have never used. For example, I have this thing. I think it's here. I don't. Legacy. How does this work? I have never used this. I have never entered my stash, guys. I don't know. What is this? Maybe it's in hardcore? Maybe it's the event? Bro, what is this? Is it loading? I think I crashed my game. Okay. This is this guy's stash. Okay. This is back in the day where things were beautiful, you know? Okay, hell, man. That's with the soul. It's we're memeing. I farmed so many of this. I had 4 LPs too. I have this doubled, I remember. This was good shit back then. Look at this. Snowdrift's 3 LP too. And I had so many fucking Shinatras. It took me so long to get the 4 LP, and then I got a multiple. And I used this 28 when then I dropped a 30. What are they? Old stories. The museum, you know? The museum. Streamer luck. Is it luck if it happens every time, though? Okay, if that's streamer luck, right? If that is a streamer luck, if that is a streamer luck, explain this character. Unga boonga. And you say, but Lizard, what is this build? You're probably playing an overpowered build. I am playing Smelter's fucking Wrath, you know? Smelter's Wrath. I said, but Lizard, you probably farmed your gear. You probably farmed your gear with a Falconeer. Character found. Uber killer Smelter's Wrath. This was a journey, let me tell you. This was a journey. This guy was pretty fun. Would I recommend this build? Eh. 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 This guy was fun though. This guy is gone. How good are the companion beastmen gonna be? I think they're gonna be really good. I think they're gonna be really good. Deserves a 12p red ring? Hell yeah. And by the way, the 12p red ring was on hardcore. Because I played this guy on hardcore. He only died to Uber Aberoth. Like before Uber Aberoth, I was deadless. Actually, that's not true. I died in arena once. So, but basically, I didn't die through the progression at all. And then on Uber Aberoth, I think I died... I think the exact number was 166 times. But we did it though. Look at this motherfucker. He doesn't even need MTX, this guy. He's a bone guard, bro. That was the Apophis incident. Yeah, this guy died to Apophis. Indeed. What a sad way to die too. I don't think he deserved it. I died at 300 waves, you know. That helmet is horrendous. Solved, you know. Did anyone at Maxwell cook the Reflect build? We're looking at it on Spriggan. I mean, it's a pretty famous build. So it's just like you basically play the Spriggan build with the idols and you cast Thorn Shield thingy with the Terra's Blessing. It's like a very old build. The only thing that is new is you basically use the chest. And should be good. I think I might do it just because I think it's popular and, you know, might as well do it for the... What's up, Palstorm, by the way? So you were in the chat. And I completely forgot to say hi. I don't know. There is a lot of things to put. No, I don't have time. So, yeah, we were talking Dead Seal, no? We said we were gonna do Dead Seal. So I archived this build because obviously Dead Seal is completely changed. So the question is, what do I do? What do I do instead? Yeah, T-Rex is a minion. It's not a companion. Yeah, I mean, the cap wave damage doesn't really do much, honestly, because I'm pretty sure. Like, if we go see my... Ah, fuck, I don't know if I have... Actually... Do I have this? Okay, I have this. I think we got only to like 20-something stacks building a lot of attack speed, right? Like, can you guys see the stacks? Yeah, you guys. So this is the stack that matters, this thing. And we're like 20, 24, you know, 5, 7, 8. Like the maximum you could get is like on Dead Waves is now the cap is 20. So, and you know, you're kind of hovering 20 with a shit ton of cast speed because this character was building. Well, you guys will see it, but this character was building a lot of cast speed, right? You got cast speed here, and then you did cast speed on. Actually, didn't do that much cast speed anymore. Did I do it on aspirational? And passives and stuff, frenzy, transplant. So maybe we just drop cast speed, you know, and we just go more damage. So it shouldn't, like, the problem is you're not gonna have waves. That's the problem, right? Because that seal is completely changed. You definitely don't take this anymore. You probably take this in the end game. And I mean, the most appealing thing to do, you don't really care about the duration itself, right? You don't care about this either. You for sure grab that. You don't care about the duration at all unless you do Hungering Souls. So I think what you do is just basically you just max damage, basically, right? I think you still max that. You have to get that to get this, which is absolute tragedy. Might cap the crit, we'll see. But I think you just go full damage, basically. And maybe you go physical instead of necro to do more damage. So you can do Aura of Decay instead of Bonkers. But I don't really know. Because I don't know how you're... Because the thing, like, the good thing about... like, when you're Reperform... I mean, and on Reperform, we're for sure gonna max this. Like, going here is like... If you see a build that's going here, like, just skip. I was already doing the increased damage because this build lacks so much damage. It's actually funny. I didn't remember this. You've seen my brainstorming on the Immortal tech? We can take a look at Ammon. I haven't looked at anything, basically. You're playing Seed Helmet to be more tanky and lose your mana as well. The more dangerous it gets, the more you lose. Yeah? Mana. You run Uber Relic for Perma Haze. Space for 3. 6 boots experimental haze in combination with 0.3. Like the passive that grants you a shit ton of mana, you can probably get for which means while getting 2, so your mana is getting gone, which less rip every second to hit ton of worth. Okay. Even without the Uber Relic, all you lose is haste on Relic. But it's only one hit, you know this, right? I don't know how I feel about that item. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, you get a lot of dodge, right? But... So... They're rebuffed? No, I think that is not... It's not up. Basically, it's not updated. He has to do things manually and stuff. As far as I know. The tech is more about the mana ward. But you already do this, no? On the regular Death Seal. No? You already had like 400 mana and... Nothing changes, no? You get word per second. But you get word per second on the tree now, no? With this passive. You get words per second. With experimental, or... I don't know. Yeah, the problem is damage, you know. And again, that's assuming you're missing damage, right? So if you're not missing mana, then this is not gonna give you much. Because you don't have control of how much mana you're missing, because you gotta keep in mind that the new Reblood scales with AoE. So if you place Reblood, you go the orbs. This is per enemy hit, right? Like you create orbs to all the enemies, right? So if you hit 10 enemies, like you're gonna get fucking 30 mana. So, I mean, it's interesting, but I don't know if this is the build for it. I mean, what's up, Mao? I just think this build, damage is always gonna be, you know, shit, basically. You for sure build full damage, crit multi, complete troll, because the points, you lack increased damage that you lost from Reaper, right? So you need the increased damage back. You lost the 66% more damage, but hopefully you can get it through Marrow Shards, right? And then you don't spec... What? Bonkers? And maybe you just... Or you don't spec Transplant? And what about... I don't know if I want to keep doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's good tech. I just don't know if this is the build. Like, I like the idea, but the more mana you get, also the better. No Transplant for more death waves via Rip. Rip can hit 1 second CD. Yeah, but it can do that without cooldown, right? Because it's... you can still, you know... That's... You're starting poison? I think for poison you just do chaos though, right? I think we have this already. Basically you do the build I did, like the Uber build, like the poison is broken, so... And maybe with super giga gear and the gloves and stuff, but you lose Immortal Wise, so just for that, any leech that doesn't use Immortal Wise is already like... it's such a downside when it comes to any, like the hard content and stuff. Guys, I'm normally not this retarded. For anyone watching the stream for the first time, I'm normally like I'm completely fried. But basically this build, you know. And now instead of using actually you probably still do this, honestly. You probably still do this. And you spec Death Seal for... You don't take this, obviously. You don't take this because it doesn't do anything anymore. And then you spec Hungering Souls for actual damage. You know, you don't spec any of that bullshit. And you go full more damage because you're actually gonna get a lot of Hungering Souls. And maybe you spec into the Vanguards for like, if you have them kind of situation. Yeah, I would do that. I will do that. It's gonna be a short stream today. I'll stream for like I don't know, like another hour or something. You still deadlock? I don't know. I don't know if you still deadlock for the mortal damage. I mean, on this particular build, probably. On that seal, obviously not, right? Because you get the more damage per this node, right? The only node that matters, actually. But yeah, I think you go this, and instead of going for these points that now they don't give anything, right? And you probably grab the wave, because why not? It's gonna hit, right? It's another source, and it'll give you some AoE and shit. Do you even give a fuck about this, honestly? Yeah, I might just not do it, honestly. I'll save a bunch of points. Because I still want the death seal. Let's go here. And I have four points left. It's tragedy, huh? It's tragedy. And we still probably grab that then, I guess. And what do I lose? I mean, we don't want to lose duration. Bone armor. Everything. Absolute tragedy. This is important. I think maybe you lose this. It's not. Doesn't do much. Like 0.5 something. What do you think for play proccing CP, Reblood, and Harvest is gonna be like? Well, it's gonna be like a bunch of shit going on, and none of it is gonna do good damage, pretty much. If you spec into too many things, probability is like you're doing a lot of everything and nothing is actually doing anything. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna look cool, but you normally want to focus on one thing. You know, the one thing is what's doing damage, and if you have some extra damage from other stuff, is good. But yeah. Increased visual clarity. Yeah, basically the only damage you're getting is brain damage. When are the Maxwell's guys gonna get it? The Turek is testing them. I'm pretty sure he's like literally he's gonna stream Minions today, I think. What a song. Always going hard, guys. But yeah, Voodoo, I think again, if you do any of these builds that have like a lot of procs, and as long as you don't try to push the super hard content, you'll be fine, Voodoo. So if you want to play some fucking build that procs a bunch of shit and you're doing bleeds, it'll be fine. You know, you'll beat 99% of the game with no problem. But if you try to compare builds like that to, again, some of the Warpath or something stupid like that, you know, it's like a different, it's like playing a different game almost, you know. Like, jokes aside, I still think like the best non-minion build still Warpath. Still OP, yeah. Lich is playing a different game. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to well, I briefly exchanged a message with Justin, which is one of the devs who works on skills, and what did he say exactly? He said, in the future, we may try to add something that also lets you keep a weaker / altered version of Death Seal permanently active. And I answered, mastery bonus, wink, wink. And that's where the conversation ended. So I think that would be fucking sick, you know? Like if like, because what I was expecting, I don't think I spoke to you with this about Mao or Amun. I think Amun knows this, but basically what I was expecting is that they were gonna nerf the more damage you get from Death Seal to, like, while you're on Death Seal, you know, you do 15% more damage, right? And then I thought they were gonna do the fucking bonus mastery, the other another 15% damage or something. So you could get 15% from Death Seal, but 15, you know, and then the other 15, like, you would just get on all Lich. you wouldn't have to fully commit on Death Seal or doing something else, but instead they just remove Death Seal without, honestly, without any real compensation. I feel. No, I the only ability that compensated is Sacrifice, and Sacrifice is not even Lich. That's fucking Necro. Hell no, you know. Because Sacrifice got a pretty healthy buff, and Sacrifice was doing pretty good damage already. Yeah, like 10% damage when you wield an axe. Yeah, and I lost 66. And you know, dual wielding is good, and you know, all the defenses are fucking good, but this build didn't need defenses, bro. Like build this fucking on Uber Aberoth, like literally chilling, you know, sitting on everything. Like a Giga Life still. This is not going anywhere. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a plan for leveling Lich. I made a YouTube video. You know, I'll go Ripblood into Spirit Plague, into Reaper, into Marrow Shards, and then I'll spec Hungering Souls, and when I get Death Seal, I'll unspec Spirit Plague, and I'll do well, basically what I always do for leveling. And I mean, it's gonna be shit single target DPS, but I don't need single target DPS to level and to be fast, right? So the plan is like, I go Lich, I build 0 damage, I go full tank, I go full speed, and I hope I don't die, and I hope Rhodey goes to sleep. Basically, those are the 3 winning conditions. Okay, number 1, Rhodey goes to sleep. Number 2, Rhodey falls asleep while playing on a squishy build, right? Number 3, Rhodey doesn't play. Number 5, Rhodey gets DDoSed. Number 6, Rhodey reaches the point where he's just a bit too old to keep going, right? It's just, you know, it's just, it stops ramping, and, you know, the guy's 40 something, you know? So, you know, younger generations are taking over. And then, yeah, me not dying, basically. Which is gonna be interesting, to say the least. I mean, we will see. We'll see. Basically, what's gonna change is that you're gonna be tankier. I mean, it's weird actually, because basically, instead of getting you lost fucking Elixir of Death, but you gain Death Seal, which Death Seal is basically kind of like an Elixir of Death, right? I don't know. These 3 is like everything's changed. What? By the way, bro, Mao, I like the fucking the Anamun, like the Death Seal rework hurt, but this note, bro, what is this? Felt like, you know, they cut my dick off and then they spit on it. This note is the spit, you know, like what? Yo, what am I getting punished? Bro, and okay, so what do we get? What do we get? We get 2 int, yeah, and -8 res. Meanwhile, Necromancer on the same slot, right? Meanwhile, Necromancer, hey, 5 health, 15 armor, stun avoidance, minion stun immunity, and 30% reduced crits. Huh? Like, am I getting scammed here? And if you want to go extreme, you know, then you have this motherfucker, you know, fucking Primalist. You go Beastmaster and you have this fucking note. Bro, for 5 points, yeah, 5 points, you get 15% less damage taken on crits shared for minions too. Double the stat. 10% flat health, 10% increased health, and +1 all skills for minions. Bro. What? What is this? And I'm getting 2 int, and I lose HP. You know? And I get 1/6 of an exsanguineous. Bro. What is it? Yo, like, you know? Nah. Nah. Isn't Hungering Souls kind of Giga? Read the note? Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do for leveling, cheese. That's like what I did on like my YouTube videos, basically that. I made a YouTube explaining how I plan to level. And at the end, you basically do... Well, if this fucking loads. I just do Hungering Souls with the... Maxing out the thing, and then you go into the... I'll go the Hungering Souls before I go Death Wave. What if it stacks in like 1 second rips? Can you machine gun? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oops. I can fix her copium. I think Acid Flask is still Giga, honestly. I don't see why Acid Flask... I think Acid Flask is basically fine, I feel. You start Marksman, and then you switch if you have a good gear. Should still be like a... it's gonna be the Billy build, you know? What was I checking? Hungering Souls. That's still Hungering Souls. I mean, my understanding, cheese, the affecting Hungering Soul, it's like the Death Wave on Rip. Okay, so... Why doesn't it clarify that you don't need to be sealed? That these tooltips are very unclear, because this one makes it clear that you don't need to be sealed, but this one doesn't. I thought basically this worked, where like you use it, or maybe I'm not reading properly. Let's read again. Additionally, when you cast Reef or Abate, you gain this effect a percentage of that seal duration. That seal must be on your action bar for this effect to occur. But then if I hold the information, but it doesn't say... Wait, that's actually really good then. But Hungering Souls is still dog shit to use. So what are we gonna do about that? So what you're saying, Cheese, is that it works out of that seal, huh? I mean, that's okay. It'll be good for leveling. The problem is the minions die. That's the problem. Probably. I mean, then they should definitely add it to the tooltip, because I wouldn't have guessed this works without that seal if this alt line wasn't here. So they definitely need to add this, because at the moment it doesn't say that you don't need to be dead sealed. It just needs that dead seal has to be on your bar, which I guess in their head it's kind of implying that it doesn't have to be active, because if it was active it would have been on your bar. But then it's kind of weird that they make the distinction here and they don't feel the... Maybe it's because the tooltip was getting long or something. I mean, that changes things. I mean, that's even better. I mean, I was planning to do this anyway, so it would have been a nice surprise if that's the case. It's funny. This node used to be weaker than this, and they nerfed it, and now they like giga buffed it. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. Deal more damage. Does it mean frostbite enemies? And not necessarily, Rick. So when a skill gets a conversion, if you want to know if it works or not, basically, if a skill says enemies that depend on, you know, if the skill states that the conversions are getting changed, then it works. But if it doesn't state it, then it doesn't work. For example, in Order of Decay, right? In Order of Decay, actually, we found an example the other day. Where was it? That something changed? Or whatever. Ah, yeah. I don't remember what it is. But basically on this aura, right? Like you see here, like you have like a more minion poison damage, more poison resistance, more poison penetration, right? All of these nodes. Like if you take this, the physical, you see how it says all the effects related to poison resistance or poison damage are converted. If this is not stated on the tree or on the conversion, then don't expect it to happen. Even though they should happen, maybe the devs haven't had time to look and make it happen, right? Because sometimes you would assume something gets converted, but it doesn't. Like for example, on that seal, right? I actually remembered what was the example I wanted to give you, and it's that seal. Right? On that seal, you have this, and this is damage against poisoned enemies. So if you convert to physical, you know, wave of death-based damage is converted to physical. All its effects related to necrotic resistance and necrotic resistant shred are converted to physical resistance and physical resistant shred. So these nodes, the necrotic resistance, physical resistance, these things change, but the poison doesn't get changed to bleed at all. That remains poison, unfortunately, right? Now, should it convert? Yeah, absolutely, it should convert. But it doesn't because they find it's thematic for you to be like, it's a decay node. Who the fuck knows, you know, whatever the reason is. Yeah, the older the skill is, the less chance to have full conversions, because obviously these take time and these take engineering power and shit, right? So is that seal? What do I even call this build now? And the thing that I'm annoyed about is that they still haven't found my biggest gripe with this build in the endgame. They haven't fixed this. And how am I gonna get this? Because ideally you would do marrow shards, you would do 3 blood, and then you would do dead seal, no? And then you just use unspec transplant or full rip. Or I like I'll for sure have transplant on my bar, you know, because you're never gonna cast Hunger Insults manually. Are you listening to this, Amon? Apparently every time you rip, it's like that seal. Apparently this node activates on rip too, even if you're not sealed. Or that's what the tooltip is implying. The 3 minions will last as long as Hero and versus Raya animation. Yeah, exactly. Just when the game is intended, you know. Would you would enjoy a link to the build? What build? Cold Lich build yet? Cold Lich build. I think any Cold Lich builds, guys. I mean, you can just play Flay and change. If anyone wants to link it, feel free to link him. Like. Is this the Cold Lich? Cold Harvest? Well, feel free. And I don't know how good Harvest is gonna be. To me, it looks like... I was talking with Volkan, he's kind of depressed. Your HC DS, what does that mean? Hungering Souls? It's supposed to be done. No, it's crit. It's crit. Amun. I made a YouTube video. I explain everything, but basically you because you don't have flat crit chance, and they nerfed actually or increased crit chance in the. They actually nerfed us. How crazy is that? We got nerfed, bro. They removed we lost 50% increased crit chance, man. Is there a link? Not really. I think. Is there a link? I don't remember. No. There's no link. I'll have a full full planner and everything, but I didn't have time to do it, you know. But basically, this is what I would do, basically, pretty much in the right order. I explain when it's gonna feel. Who the fuck knows? Sucks to love that Knights from WoW so much. Other games don't cover the archetype. What is the closest things to like Dead Knights from WoW? Like, yeah, we don't really have that. Like, I mean, we don't really have that actually. Hollow Leech was nerfed. Nerfed and buffed, kind of. No, it got nerfed to increase damage, but the node that this node in theory, as long as you're not leeching, it should be like a more multiplier, from my understanding. But we'll see. I don't really like playing low life Acolyte. I like playing Reaper. If it wasn't for Reaper, I don't think I would play Acolyte. Isn't Spine of Malantras fucked? No, you still have a lot of increased damage, Misha. And worst case scenario, you go on Ancestral Damage Leeched or whatever the fuck, and you know, you're just gonna play. You play the low life on that build, like the Anten's version, and you're fine. You still go Acid Skin. I mean, you lost like what? It's like 6 instead of 10. Yeah, but I mean, you can. Yeah, you still can. I mean, you still get like 60% of the effect you used to have. You're just gonna need more gear, no? But you can, and you have more access to increased damage, regular increased damage on uniques and shit. So for example, you know, you can use any of the new items that come with just like straight up increased damage. You know what I have to fix, Misha? I'm too lazy actually. I'm too tired. I can't be fucked. I have to do Glacier, fuck, but it's so many planners. Okay, let's do it. Now you can't? Yeah, maybe I can't. Let's do the Leech then. Let's do the Leech. Okay, what do we play then? The question is, I still want to do Necrotic. I think we unfortunately have to inspect Transplant. Maybe Hungering Soul comes back then? And I have no idea actually. All of this sucks. Because ideally you want to have everything, right? Ideally you want to have that Bone Curse. You want to have Marrow Shards proc on Reblood. And you want to have the automatic Anger. Decisions. And we can always get this, right? We Reblood, then we Hunger, and then we Marrow, no? And that's the build basically. And on this one, you definitely don't do that. I think these are the last points, right? To get armor. But do I even have enough points for this? That's the thing. I mean, on Dead Seal, you focus on Dead Seal damage. So you wouldn't do Hungering Souls. But the Hungering Souls is fucking nice. How much Dead Seal I can get now? With the plus skills? I don't think I can get more, right? Yours 27. What can I get? You could get a few more if you go all in. But where are you getting them? I mean, you're getting one through... No, you're getting one through... I mean, you try to get Shatter Walls, of course. And until Shatter Walls, you don't have haste, no? Yeah, it's gonna be cool. The bleed builds, Lurker Reunion, the bleed builds are gonna be fun. Tomorrow Shards should not be active. Bar, just Reblood? Yeah. Exactly, Cap. Then the new unique increase to +1 level. The Primordial, yeah, but then you don't go Immortal Wise, right? And you for sure want to go Immortal Wise. That's a good thing, though. We don't need the crit gloves anymore, because we have so much crit on the tree. And Reblood has crit, and Marrow Shards has 3 crit. So that's nice. But then it's like, okay, this is one of those builds where, like, what do I do now? Okay, Reblood is just to proc bullshit and to get my mana back, alright? And you get whatever the fuck these nodes. You don't need all these nodes. I think you do just this. And then what? You don't need this, right? You don't need this either. You don't need as much cast speed as before because it's capped to 20 stacks. The crit chance of this itself doesn't matter. And then we have 9 fucking points. And maybe we do the proc. And we convert to Necro, so we get the plus. And then what? We go damage, maybe? Or cast speed? Like, it's literally gonna do 0 damage, this shit, so... But I guess this damage affects the coagulated guys, and the coagulated things can actually do damage because they have 100% more damage. So maybe we do something like this. Something like this. Yeah, that's what I said. If you go all in, yeah. The point to proc more Marrow Shards. Isn't the point? This point is to proc Marrow Shards, but you don't need Marrow Shards on your bar to proc, right? So basically, on your actual skill bar, you're not gonna have Marrow Shards. When you Reblood, Marrow Shards will happen, right? And we're gonna have enough cast speed, so it's not worth dropping the more damage, I think. Yeah, but you're only getting like what, 6 per point. It's fine. This guy gets a lot of cast speed. Because you get cast speed from what is it called? What I'm thinking is it's actually the frenzy. What I'm thinking is actually the frenzy. The frenzy helmet might be good on this, but again, then you're not Seat, and if you're not Seat, why play this build to begin with? So, you get we'll get frenzy. Through Nihilis, but we need Nihilis. We'll get the frenzy effect. And then the question is what we do here. And if you wanted to go full, I mean, the problem is, like, you can't play this late game because they die. So I guess maybe we go full Fizz. I mean, we don't do Fizz on the... Maybe we do go full Fizz. Hey, what's up? Who's that? Hey, thank you, Jan Hila. What's up? Maybe we do full Fizz, and we basically just add the Marrow Shards to the whole build. But it's gonna be rough. And we just go, like, again, like, full damage. will create full damage, you know. And then the oops. And then the last points go into, we don't care about duration actually. And then the last points go into here. 27. These points are pretty low value, huh? Something like this. Something like this. Have to do it in order, so 1 second. That's a very time-consuming thing of the guides, that you have to make the right order so people don't get lost, right? What am I missing? Oh shit. I said I do this last. Okay, good. What's up? Hey, welcome everyone. Would it be worth it to take the tether since it gives 3 stacks of calculated blood per second? I don't know. It's a lot of travel notes. A lot of travel notes. Oops. Like 3, no? 3 travel notes. I honestly don't know. Because how this works currently, you get quite a bit, okay, we can go in game. How it works currently, you get quite a few of these things, like the bolt thingies, if you cast fast. How I expected. Okay, we can test this. So I don't know how it's gonna feel, the new one, because in theory versus AoE it should proc more often, no? Versus AoE, and they already procced quite a bit. Or not. They disabled it. No. Interesting. The new one works. The new one then works without being full life then? Because before it used, you had to be full life, now you don't, right? I think. Oh, Gratz Orb, you gain upon reaching godly 6 stacks, your blood consumes 6 stacks. Yeah, so now you don't need to be, now you don't need to heal. Before you had to heal, that's why we didn't take it before. Yeah, when a blood orb grants excess health, we don't need to grant excess health anymore, no? When a blood grants health. Okay, that's great, actually. It's a great buff. And we can have multiple... And you can make 6 stacks in a single... You can get 6 stacks in a single cast now, right? Because before basically how this worked, for those wondering, how this worked, it was like there's one enemy, right? There's one enemy, there's you, and then you hit the guy, and then the little orbs comes to you, right? And if you were like full, if you were full HP, which you're never on a leech, and it would overheal you a bit, and they heal for very little. They skill with intelligence, but they heal very little. Then you would do the orb, right? But now, and Reblot could only hit one enemy. You can only get one orb, right? But now, how it works is like Reblot is a line, right? So if you're here, right? But there's like 6 enemies here, right? You're gonna get one orb of each, right? So the next Reblot you do will already proc the ball, right? Which is really nice. And the builds that have a lot of procs synergize really well with Bonkor's aura, right? And the reason you want to go aura is because you see that if I don't play Aura... So, regular Bonkers, right? Regular Bonkers applies like this, right? You apply it, and then... You know, you do 4 hits, and it fades away, right? So, right there. 1, 2, 3, and it's gone, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's gone. But if you do Bonkers Aura... basically what happens is like it's permanently applied. You see there? The Bonkers is always active, so it's always proccing. So if you have a build that is hitting a lot, it means while you have the Aura, these Bonkers can proc infinite times as long as you're applying it, right? Is there any decent gameplay showcases for endgame? Yeah, sure. I mean, for example, all the builds on Maxroll that have videos, they're all at 1k corruption, for example. All my characters are 1k corruption. You just type like, I don't know, you find a creator you like and then you follow. And there's an Aura to get illusion. Yeah, I'm not doing bugs, but you can get illusion and Aura, but we don't do that. And if you do the Aura, you can actually get quite a bit of damage on this. So I think what I'm probably gonna end up doing is I'm probably gonna end up maxing the damage on this. Because we're gonna need all the damage, basically, on this build. And the idea is, okay, so now, currently, with the current build, every time we replot, only this Bonkers is proccing, right? But the blood splatter is gonna proc the Bonkers of this guy too, right? You guys are gonna see. If I take off the Aura, right? And I apply Bonkers. This guy has Bonkers. But you guys see this Bonkers proccing? Click. That's the little effect. Click. No Bonkers now. Now I apply Bonkers. And then click. That's the little click. So the idea is like if you have the Aura. Oh, of course. I don't have Aura anymore. But imagine if you have the Aura, which is always applying. The annoying part about the Aura is that it drains a lot of mana. But you don't really consume mana on this build, because that seal is basically free. Reblot is free and it gives you mana, right, with this. And Marrow Shards is free and Hungering Souls proc is free. Everything's free, right? So you don't really use mana, except Bonkers. So the idea is like, if we proc Bonkers, and Bonkers, we spec decent damage, because Bonkers doesn't do a lot of damage, because it's only 20% effectiveness to each hit, right? But you can get a lot of hits. And now that this shit is aligned, like Replot is aligned like Marrow Shards, right? You're gonna be able to hit multiple. Which means it's like, when you're in a group, you're gonna be able, or versus a boss or whatever. Imagine this guy is a boss and these guys are adds. You're gonna be able to go in, right? You're gonna be able to go in, and with your Aura and your Riplots and everything going on, and your Marrow Shards proccing and stuff, in theory, you should be able to proc a lot of times. Like right now, Marrow Shard, you can basically only proc it once per hit. Or if you have Death Seal, twice, right? Because then you also hit with Death Seal, because Death Seal, the wave is proccing Bonkers too, right? But now we're gonna get, so we're gonna go from only having the Replot proc and the Death Seal proc. Now we're gonna have also the Marrow Shards proc, the Hungering Souls proc, right? The Rip Blood proc, right? So this could be X2 sometimes. And the Hungering Souls are actually proccing, you're gonna be using them twice per second, right? So in theory, you should like get a shit ton of Bonkers procs going on. Now, all of this, they're not gonna hit for a lot of damage. But I mean, let's just say it hits for 10k. Well, it's gonna be from doing 10k to doing like per second to doing like 50k, right? Because you're gonna have like 5 of them proccing. So, and then Marrow Shards on its own is a build that already had pretty good damage. I used to play it and I stopped playing it because they ruined the targeting. But with Replot, you're not gonna need to target it, right? So that problem gets solved. Yeah, the build is gonna be bad, but it's gonna be really fast. A single target is gonna be a pain, but I'm super comfortable playing these kind of builds. So it's a bad build that I'm good at, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to play comfort. You can get benefits from them if you spec skeletons, strong warriors, half count minion, get all da. Yeah, but I can't use another specialization. And that would just be a different build, right? Then you just go full Hungering Souls, full... I mean, for leveling, I'm for sure gonna do Hungering Souls. For sure gonna do Hungering Souls. So instead of doing Bone Cores, I'll do Hungering Souls. Because Bone Cores is not gonna do a lot of damage until I have damage. So for leveling, what I'm gonna do is instead of focusing on this, because I'm not gonna have poison chance or bullshit, right? I'm gonna do this instead. And I'll rush these points. Something like this. I won't have this many points, so... I actually don't care about the Death Wave. I don't know what I'll do, actually. Maybe this? I'll go this way first, then I expect 2 points, then I unspec that. Something like this. It doesn't matter, there's no compensation. But yeah, man, I mean, I still want to start Lich, and I still don't want to suck. So we're gonna try to make it... I mean, it's not gonna be amazing, but we're gonna make it the least less shit possible, you know? So it's not gonna be good. We're just gonna try to make it the less shit possible. We're just trying to make it not shit, not good. You know, we're aiming at the bottom of the bucket. And then Marrow Shards is pretty self-explanatory. And again, maybe we'll see what I do with the minion. Keeping the minion alive is annoying. You can do Bone Prison. But in hardcore, Bone Prison can be tricky because you can get stuck in your own Bone Prison and die. I'm trying to make it menos malo effectively, yes. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. So I think at the beginning, I'm gonna do this, basically. I'm gonna go do stun. And I'll go the full damage versus bleeding, the full melee damage. I'll max this damage. I'll max this damage. And then the rest of the points are probably max crit multi. Because I don't have crit early on. And then probably the next points, we'll see, honestly. Doesn't really matter. I'll do something like this. While leveling. State of Acolyte. I'm pretty sure my Earthquake Beastmaster is gonna do more damage than this build with a single cast that I do with a full rotation. So... like, it's gonna be actually embarrassing playing this in comparison, but... times 10, yeah, it's gonna be a bit tragic. But, I mean... But there is only one reason I play Lich, guys. And you know which one it is. I don't have to explain, right? Look. Look at that ass. Look at the shaky. Look at the shaky. Those hips, bro. You're playing in the middle of the battlefield. Rotten ass. When I read that, I had a very graphical image in my head that I don't want to see again. So let's not talk about rotten ass before. Again. A rotten mermaid. Holy. Okay, let's see. How much damage can I get on the waves? It's less damage now. It's less 40 instead of less 60. We're not gonna do this. And then how much damage can I get? Have to respec a lot. Let's get some points. I just wanna see how much damage it can do. And then I'll probably take a nap, honestly. I'm really tired. 1k corruption might be a bit ambitious, but... And again, we'll lose this for, like I said... Bro, it works. Trust, you know.
Death will not take me.
I'm gonna have to get the fucking poison chance somewhere, but... Trying to get an idea of how much damage the waves are gonna do when I do them. What the fuck is this cooldown? What the fuck? Oh, so you guys are not doing transplants, so you don't take the downside. Oh my god. That's actually so... I refuse. Fuck. 200. Oh, they really don't want you to use transplant. Maybe Flech? And we're gonna be tanky, you know, but... Yeah, you need to level with Hungering Souls, otherwise you're gonna do 0 damage. And Hungering Souls struggles versus some, especially boss, like monolith bosses are a pain, basically. It's fun. It is really fun to play. It's my favorite build in the entire game in terms of gameplay. I have a full leveling run if you guys are curious, like on YouTube, on hardcore and stuff. So if you want to see how like a full run looks on this patch, you can check that when I go offline now. But it's gonna change a bit. Especially Ripblood. Ripblood in theory is much better as a skill, but worse as a buffer. And you don't. Before you would have poison chance built in, so you could use the poison chance for that seal. Now you don't. It's kind of tragic. Are we building cooldown then? I'm getting used to that seal not being up every 5 seconds or whatever. I have 3.2 cooldown. We got a specker build, okay? We'll have points. What's with the money? Okay, we already determined the orbs don't work in the current patch, but they will work next patch for sure, I think we do this, and then these points we just put them on. Don't have the mana, I see. This is annoying because it applies to myself. We do this maybe. I don't know yet though. And this will die, right? Which is gonna suck, and we'll have Marrow. That's all we need. And then what? I think this is basically our 3, kind of. And no deadlock. Okay, how many poison stacks I need to see the damage? $30 is easy. Where do I get it though? That's a good question.
Hello, traveler.
There's on there. I guess we have poison chance here. Unless poison damage, we could put a couple points there. This is only be one. That's only gonna be 1 point now, right? So the theory is gonna be completely different. This doesn't exist, right? Anymore. 5 points are going into this. I mean, the entire tree is different, so don't look at this. This is that. I'm just gonna fully max it just to see how many. We need 30.
Do not dwell on regret.
Holy 30. $1 million. And now I'm gonna have to dash manually. This is gonna suck, huh? With Hungering Souls is better than with Death Wave, because you're gonna be able to have it up for longer. I'm gonna miss Transplant, man. You could get a lot of Death Waves. But all the time dashing is gonna be fucking cucked. I have too much muscle memory with Transplant. I can't switch this early. I can learn it after the end of the season, but I can't do it. So I think I'm probably gonna go into the Hungering stuff. What am I gonna do for AoE? Rip Blood and Marrow Shards and Bonkers, basically. Like what I'm doing now. Basically for Bonkers, I was testing the endgame, but with Bonkers, what I would do is I would just go boom, boom. I would do this. Basically what I did in my run. Oh, fuck. First you grab this note. With the Giga. And, you know, the Hungering Souls are gonna go off, right? I think I'm gonna do something like this. Or, actually not true. I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna do something like this. Something like this. So, you know, you go in, you will dead seal. The souls will happen, right? You'll have soul spect. And then in theory, every time you reap, you can get this duration times 75%. So every time I reap, right, this lasts... I can make this ability last 4 seconds if I max this point. 3.9, I think it is exactly. 3.9 seconds. Right? Or 3.7? I don't know, I have it written. So then I'm gonna get this effect for like 75% of the duration every time I rip. And every time I abate, right? So basically, in theory, you know, I should be able to Hungering Souls, 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 Hungering... Because you basically will have the Hungering Souls going for 3 seconds, as long as you have Reaped and Transplant in the last 3 seconds, right? That's my understanding. And you know this, you know Hungering Souls do Giga damage early, and then on Bonkers, obviously, you have to grab the Vanguards. And the vanguards, I mean, I can just play it, I guess. But then what do we do? What do we spec for? This is the problem, right? You know, do we include marrow shards? Yeah or nay? Do we need it? Or do we just drop bonkers? You know? Because with bonkers, the AoE, like the AoE of this build currently, it's good, right? Like I get to empowered monolith in hardcore without dying, right? Like on my last run, like cause I did a couple practice runs, like 3 runs or something, like last week before the patch notes. Oops. And I did 4 hours 49 hardcore. And you have Death Seal, but for a lot of the time you don't have Death Seal, right? Very early. And the AoE is good. Because obviously you start with Spirit Plague, right? And then you switch to the Hungering. But you don't have that, like, for example, here I don't have the waves. I don't know, you just zoom with the Bonkers procs, and Marrow Shards will go on, and Replot is gonna hit in a line. Like, AoE is not gonna be the issue, and Hungering's also obviously doing the single target, right? Like always. And you're gonna have, what, double, if not triple, the Hungering Souls than you have now? Because it's gonna be, no, it's like 1 every 1.5 seconds, I think, no? What is it now? I don't even know. I have to check here. Now is 1.5, and then your frequency. You get 0.8, right? Now they're gonna be 0.5. So you'll get a bit more souls more often. All the time, right? Not just when that's seal. No, I mean, you're gonna do triple minions for leveling. Like, I do triple minions when I level. It's just they're not up sometimes, you know. But you do triple minions for your monolith. I'm pretty sure you do triple minions until you get to 100, and then you go to bed, and then you figure out what the fuck do you respec into, basically. Yeah, I'm playing this till 100, basically. Like on the first couple days. And hopefully it doesn't slow down too much with Marrow Shards. That's pretty much the plan. And hopefully the Marrow Shards, like splinters, do a bit of a do a bit of AoE. But yeah, I don't know. I think about it and I get fever. So do we do Necrocooks? We did Abomination today with Mishan. Some of the math you did with her. And obviously there's a lot of questions. Because in theory it should be pretty fucking good. I mean, the good thing about Abomination, like, it's on max roll. The good thing about Abomination is that it has a lot of alternatives. Because in theory, the projectile bouncing thing, it should be pretty fucking good. If many things. Questions I have. How long does it take for do a full bounce? Can you have multiple bounces out at the same time if you have a short enough cooldown? Can you stack multiple on the same enemy? You know? Because, you know, like the recurve chance bullshit is it should be pretty good. But, again, a lot of questions. If the recurve is not good, then you go stomp, right? You go stomp. And the stomp, it should be potentially less crazy, but I think stomp is safe, because we know how it works. Dual and stomp, right? Those are the secret not stuck on a single enemy. I've been getting, I mean, I think it should be, but we don't know. Because in my eyes, it's they grabbed Heartseeker and they just copied Heartseeker, and you can definitely get multiple Heartseekers on the same enemy. But again, if it should stack, but It looks like it works like the Ravenger's helm. It looks like it just goes automatically there. Yeah, it looks like the proc is like the Ravenger's helm. But the Ravenger's helm has a very specific line that says you can only have one, right? Or something like that. It has like... What does it say exactly? Doesn't it say you're limited to one Heartseeker? It literally says it. So there is two options here, because basically how the devs work is they copy pasta code, right? You know, they copy pasta code. So you have Heartseeker, the skill, right? And then you have Heartseeker from the helmet. When they made the helmet, right? When they made the helmet, that's the helmet, by the way. When they made the helmet, basically the developer went into Heartseeker, look at the code, right? And did like Control C, Control B, boop, add cooldown, right? And add limit. So limited to 1, yes, cooldown 2 seconds, right? Or whatever it is. Check. Now the question is, the dev who made Abomination, what did he copy pasta? Did he copy pasta this one? Or did he copy pasta this one? And I'm thinking that because this one already had a cooldown, what the dev did is like he copy pasta did one and changed this to 4 seconds without changing the limited to 1. Yeah. Because this kind of things happen, and that's the problem of not having CT. That's why, for example, I haven't made a video about Abomination yet, even though we have like the build super theory crafted, because, well, I can't go and test these kind of things. Where is the how is the potato coding potatoing, you know? Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I think it's called, what is it called in game? Ethereal Arrow. In game is called Ethereal Arrow. Is it called Ethereal Arrow? What is it called? Let's see. Let's take a look at if I see it. I'll go into the game code. Uh-oh, we have a problem. Okay, I found it. Let's see if I can do a screen capture for you guys. Okay, it looks like this is the tooltip for Eternal Arrow. So we know it has a 4-second cooldown. Whenever it hits its target, it has a chance to recover through recurve, and it recurs to target. Multiple for each time the arrow recurves. So we choose a new target. Nowhere in the tooltip it says you can only have one active. You know. We're working on the tier list. It should tomorrow, guys. We're gonna have by this time or so, a bit earlier maybe. We're gonna have the Maxroll podcast, and we should be able to have a pretty fairly preliminary tier list that is believable. But again, I don't know if this is. I mean, I might just message a dep and ask. Right, and shot my shot. I normally don't like doing these things, but I might message a dep and be like, "Hey, hey, what's up, Voodoo?" Yeah, 6.3 million DPS is fine, but Mike has said with full investment, he has 95% uptime of 1. What does that even mean? with full investment. Full investment on what? Huh? Full investment, he means he has... It's for an import ticket, it was the same. With full investment, you have about 90%. And never any... Can... I'm just gonna ask Mike, can you? I'm asking Mike. Okay, I shot my shot. Let's see if he answers. Yeah, but I don't understand. Like, I mean, because it's a 3-second cooldown. You can get like a fucking extra 100% increased cooldown. So let's just say you get it to a 2-second. Like my Heartseeker with... Because you can get like what? Like fucking... Technically, you can get literally 2000% recurve chance, right? But it's like by 0.8 or whatever the fuck, right? Each time or whatever the fuck, yeah? So if with my fucking Heartseeker, right? Because I went and checked this. Like with my with the Heartseeker, like I did a Heartseeker kill on Uber Aberoth, and on second 33, where is it? On second 33, there is a Heartseeker that I miss, and it goes into the air, right? So you can see there. There's a Heartseeker right there that I missed, right? And it goes there for like 3 seconds almost, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 4 seconds. And that's only with the recurve chance of this shitty character, right? Which has... I'm not even building recurve chance, right? I have recurve chance per dex, and I have quite a bit of dex, but you know. So in theory, again, this character has base 100% recurve chance, and then it gets per dex, you know. He gets like another 50. Then he gets another 60. Minimum is 66, which I guess is actually pretty huge. And then he gets another 40, right? In my experience, how much DPS is needed to do Uber comfortably? Define comfortably. If you want to do it like the most YouTube videos do, you need 50 million, I think. If you want to kill it like, you know, you watch your PoE streamer and they're killing it with like a racing strike or whatever, you need like 50 million or so. Now, if you want to play, I have killed it with fucking 3 million DPS builds. I have. but they're 22-minute kills, right? It also depends, because there's builds that have DPS, but they don't have uptime. Those are two very different things. For example, melee builds, a lot of the times really have DPS when you go and calculate, but you don't take into account juking, you know, not being on range, fucking, you know, blah, 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 right? So a lot of the times your DPS gets cut by half. If you have to do mechanics, your DPS, you know, yeah. No, absorbing or 4 to 5 minutes? No. 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 For example, I'll give you an example actually. If I go into my poison leech, right? The one that I killed Uber Aberoth on the one that I killed Uber Aberoth on my YouTube, right? And this is an online character, you know, fully geared, you know, nothing fun. It's on the servers, right? All official. I can't really find info about it. Are there any gloves that convert element chance to bleed chance? Yes. They're called Criterion of Creation or something like that. They're primordial unique gloves. If you go into the databases like Maxroll or whatever, you will find them. Criterion of Creation, I think they're called. Okay, so this build killed Uber in like, what is the video, 14 minutes or something? Because again, you have to survive, right? You have to survive. And this build hits the dummy for... They're stacking still, so... Like, sticking the dummy, I think the maximum I tick on this guy is like 4 million ticks, right? More or less. So this ticks every... I think I saw 10 million there. Let's just say 5 million ticks on average, right? That's a 3 million, 4 million, right? So that basically, this ability ticks half times per second, right? So this basically means I have like around 10 million DPS right now, because if you tick for... And I have more than that because my Death Seal is doing damage, right? And my Hungering Souls are doing damage, and the hit section is doing damage. So it's like around 10 to 15 million DPS, right? This build. And if you have 10 million DPS or so, it's gonna be more than 10 minutes, basically. Again, look at how much damage I did on the dummy in like a few seconds, right? Like, if the HP of the dummy is not like moving like this, obviously this is it has to ramp, right? And I'm actually missing quite a bit of damage. So let's fix that actually. So let's see my real damage, because when I killed the guy, I had this, right? You see, now it's 12 million, 13 million. So this is 20 million DPS actually, right? When I'm Death Sealed. You see. So yeah, you know, if this was 14 million, like a 6 million DPS build, yeah, you're gonna be there for 20 minutes. You know? If you do the fight properly and you don't get, you know. Now, you want to see how like a high DPS build actually feels in terms of if you want to hit the dummy and get a bit of perspective. For example, I'll show you Warpath, for example, which Warpath is like basically really fucking good damage, right? What the fuck is Warpath? There you go. Hey. Thank you for the follow, and Vision, thank you for the gift, man. That's really kind of you. Lurking for a bit? Hey, thank you, man. Again, we're gonna go... This is like with like single tier 7, you know, kind of like endgame gear in max roll, a bit better maybe, you know? No tardo, eh? Okay. So again, let's see, this build, once it's fully ramped, you can do 200 million DPS, right? So let's compare it, right? Obviously, we gotta ramp a bit, right? Look at the dummy, right? And it's still ramping, it's still ramping, still ramping, right? I still have a lot of mana. And now we're gonna go for the giga damage. If you're not killing the dummy this fast, yeah. What skills you thinking Lich will roll with? And Flay looks good. Chaos Bolts, Poison, all the old builds plus Flay basically. And Flay looks good. And then leveling builds probably still the same as before. And I think this build kills Uber in like 2 minutes or something. You know what? I'm gonna do a normal Uber first, so you get the perspective. Let's do a normal. With the same character. Let's do a normal. If you aren't killing the dummy, then don't have enough damage for Uber. Yeah. If you're not killing the dummy, don't even think about Uber, basically. It's not even in your, like... If you can't kill the dummy, even if it takes you a minute to kill it, don't even think, you know. This is normal, Aberoth, right? I'll show you guys normal. In Maxwell, there's new boots. Yeah, I don't have them, obviously. It's gonna do more damage than last patch.
But first, prove yourselves worthy.
Aberoth! Face us yourself!
So again, normal Abby, like, it should basically be like killing a normal mob, right?
Entertain my dear sister for a moment.
Traveler,
We're
don't
gonna
worry
wait a
about
bit.
me.
Such wasted potential. Orbis would have welcomed you.
He went into his damage reduction phase. It's basically immune right now, that's why he's not dead. If anyone wondering. Okay, so this is normal Aberoth, right? Like, it's literally 10 seconds, right? And Uber, for perspective, what happened? Warpath happened. Let's see if I have more Uber somewhere. Complex gameplay? Yeah. Okay, I have Ubers here. I killed Uber a lot. I also have a lot of practice. Obviously, with this build, anyone can do what I'm doing, right? But obviously, getting there, you know, is what.
Such wasted potential.
All right.
Orbis would have welcomed you.
This is Uber in comparison, right?
You fight for nothing.
Like, the regular Abby is already dead, basically, right?
See the beauty we were denied. Terra turned her back on us.
No master greater than Orbis. I am
Oops.
The void comes. Gods tore our world apart. They deserve their fate. treated the world no better. Death is our legacy. Die! Dead world! Pathetic! The void hungers. The world called to Oribis. This is his answer. The void comes.
Fucked up my ability.
You fight for nothing.
Okay.
What?
Show loot. Unlucky. For reference, right? I don't know. What do we try? Something that has it. I guess I can show you the build that I was talking about, like the million, the one that had, you know, the build that I mentioned. You know, hey, like this build, it has like 20 million DPS compared to the one I just showed you. I don't know if I have I should have Ubers here, but I might need to craft one. I only have one. Because I don't want to waste time crafting it. Okay, I have one here. Threshold of Eternity. Okay, I have it. Okay, that's good. So I'll show you Uber Aberoth. I'll show Dummy a difference. I mean, yeah. For reference. Right?
Such wasted potential.
And I've killed it with this build. It's a good build, right? But that's the 20 million DPS build.
The void hungers.
I'm lagging for whatever reason. Have the game open for a long time. So, yeah, you know. It's quite a... I'm giga lagging FPS, I don't know why. So I'll reset the game. Doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's 15 minutes, like the fight. If you're curious and you wanna see the actual fight, I have it. I have the first kill on YouTube. Okay, so it's this video. I'll link it on chat. Where is it? There it is. And I like playing the weaker builds, you know. But yeah, if again compare, like, yeah. There is a world of difference. And then, you know, if you want to get extreme, you know, people do one-shots with certain builds that exist, you know. People do one-shots. All of these one-shot builds, all of them don't exist in 4 days. But people do crazy shit in softcore, you know. Like, these builds are 500 million DPS plus. Look. Technically not a one-shot. But... So... There is actual one-shots though. With the Falconeer. You have Warpath killing it in 1 minute with really good gear. Let's see this one. Oh, no. 0.8 seconds. This might be an actual one-shot. How can that it be 20 million DPS if it takes 50 minutes on Uber Heavy? With the damage included, Uber Heavy has 2 million HP, so 20 will speed DPS. That's because you're not taking into account that the dummy is not the same as the Aberoth. For example, let's just say you have a weapon. Let's just say you have a weapon that shoots, you know, 11,000 rounds per minute. Are they all gonna be headshots? You know? Are you just gonna... Just because you shoot very fast, it doesn't mean you're gonna be hitting. You know, you have to juke shit and, you know. Yeah, 0.8. Oh, there's even faster ones. I've seen the shift one is like an action. That's probably the most damage. And again, these builds are gone, right, completely. What the fuck is that suggestion? We don't kink shame here, okay? We embrace each other as we are, what we like, you know. Is Marksman Heartseeker any good? It's okay. Okay is the right word, Felipe. It's okay. It's like a fun build, but, you know, B tier, normal. Planner when leveling Lich. I'll do the thing is, like, it's multiple planners, so I'll do a planner where you can do, you know, level 1 to, you know, level 1 to level 10, level 1 to level 10, level 1 to level 10. So I'll do that properly. Probably like the day before the season. That'll probably be the last thing I do, because I actually have contractual work that I have to finish. We have to update all the guides and shit. Like, I have to do it because I won't be able to while I'm playing Red. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for me, guys. It's a bit of a shorter stream today, but I need to have team meetings and I have to sleep, and because tomorrow, for those who don't know, tomorrow we're around this, probably like it's 8 o'clock for me. It's probably gonna be 6 o'clock. It's 8:40 o'clock for me. Probably around 6-7 o'clock. We're gonna have a podcast with Volka, with Terek, with you know, with Bina, all the Maxwell guys, and we will try to, you know, we'll try to get the tier list updated for tomorrow. Did they really kill Rod build? Even 10k damage? I mean, Time Rod literally stopped working, you know, like. Like, hit damage instead of damage over time. Like, straight up. It can't do Time Rod anymore. Straight up. Like, it's only hit. But you still have this build. You still have this build. This build's like still really, really broken. But it's a bit harder to play. Like, the gameplay is... but this build is gonna be, if you like Time Rod and you like that kind of gearing, this build's still gonna be really broken. Basically, you do orbs and then you do, it's like a 2-bottom build. You do orb, volatile, and then the orbs follow you around, kind of like mines. And eventually you make like a Giga orb that hits like as hard as Javelin, basically. But it's not as, you know, it's more of like an auto bomber rather than like a burst. So the gameplay, it is, you have to like it, right? If you don't mind, you don't mind, but it's not super smooth. I don't mind it personally. I think it's fine. But for example, if you don't like pressing too many buttons and stuff, it's a pretty chill build, you know. You can get full block also, you can get tanky. We'll see. But this build still should be like giga damage, you know. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me for today. Again, I'm tired. I have to do meetings. We gotta get everything ready for the podcast. So if you guys, dude, my YouTube videos have 100 views each. Like, bro, like, man's gotta eat, bro. Like, what is happening? I made thumbnails and everything. When's the podcast? Tomorrow? Probably like 2 hours earlier than what it is now. Maybe. I will make my stream title would say the hour. But I depend a bit on Bina, because Bina gets back from holiday tomorrow or today night, I think. And basically, the moment Bina gets here, we start talking. And yeah, let me see if I can find someone I can host. Tarek is streaming, of course. Tarek has been a little rat, huh? I mean, look, 1 hour streaming Tarek, you know? He knows. He's leeching, you know? For those who don't know, again, Tarek is like a Maxwell team member. He does all the leveling stuff. And he's currently doing Minion leveling. So anyone who wants to start Primalist, Beastmaster, is actually going to make a guide exactly for those people. So you're not forced to level as a Shaman. If you actually want to level as a Minion, we're going to try to give you the best way possible. It might not be as good as the meta build, right, to level. It might be like 20% slower or whatever. But you're still going to have an option that is good, and you feel powerful, and that allows you to transition to any of the endgame builds. So I think he's working on this. Yeah, he said he's doing a Necro leveling run today, right? And he's gonna do a Necro, he's gonna do a Primalist. So yeah, leveling as Minion. Hey, we're trying, okay? So yeah, let's go host him. Again, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the love and the subs and the follows, and a lot of YouTube people are watching the stream and are actually subbing to YouTube and stuff. So I appreciate it, guys. It took me 7 weeks to set up the stream without crashing, but we did it, you know. So thanks for watching. I'm probably gonna try to finish companions today. So I'll try to get raids updated. I'm gonna try to get a Scorpion and maybe Wolves by tomorrow, like these 3. And I think all Minions will be done. At least the ones planned for the patch. So yeah, I'll try to at least. Again, big kiss, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And be here for the podcast. It's gonna be epic, you know? Big memes, big tech, big insane, you know?